Hey, Shalom. All praises unto Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and honest you brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, so this is going to be a quick, oh no, not a quick video, a bit of an exhaustive video, somewhere in between exhaustive and quick. I think I'm going to do it in. And this is dealing with the illusion of wealth, okay? So you got what's known as the rat race out here, especially in places like London, New York, okay, places where you can get, you know, the £150,000 a year job, the £250,000 a year job, of which usually you're selling something or you're doing something on an international basis, moving debt around the world, and you can get these so-called goodie bags from the so-called white man, okay? But ultimately, what you're gonna see within these three articles that I got there, of which the premise is really this. This is really what the grounding for this is, okay? So pretty much you have a system where with Esau, okay, has it to where a number of individuals out here within this world, okay, especially you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, if you can even get up on that ladder, well, pretty much what you have is a rigged system, okay, and it's rigged towards the superiors, man, towards your masters, Esau, okay? It's rigged in such a way that Esau is the only person that can benefit this. And I'm not talking about your average day Edomite that you see walking about, okay? I'm not talking about them kind of Edomites. I'm talking about only the elites out here that have wealth that they have inherited from having the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, okay? Land ownership, okay? And once you understand the concept of true wealth, then you really see that the vast majority of the people out here is fucked, okay? Because you don't have no intrinsic possessions, man. I don't know if intrinsic is the correct word there, but you don't have no tangible, valuable items within your existence. All you have is debt, okay? And we've gone into this in multiple videos that I've done in the past, dealing with how debt really is the fundamental backbone of Babylonian society, man. It's the fundamental backbone of Babylonian society, and that debt's gonna get, you know, that debt gets you trapped up, man. Okay, but that's all going back onto the curses of which Yahweh Shem Yahushua inflicted upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. How we was gonna be, and in fact, it might be a good time to get this scripture. I was gonna get it at the end, but there's no time like the present. Okay, because all of these things that you're seeing out here, a system rigged only towards Esau's benefit. A system where with maybe sometimes a heathen can climb that ladder, but ultimately you ain't going to have it to where one of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans is going to fairly, through hard work, okay, on toll, okay, is going to climb that ladder of prosperity. Of which you ain't supposed to be climbing that ladder of prosperity out here, okay? So you got it to where you got certain cats within these Israelite camps, okay, these money camps, okay, that are on this thing of let's get wealthy within Esau's system. Well, unless you sold out, and I'm going to show you within this, unless you have sold out, you are not going to get no tangible, valuable items within the society, because you're working within a society that's been designed to be a curse unto you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Okay, it's designed to be a curse unto you, and these three articles is going to show you that. Okay, predominantly the one I've showed you in the middle, because that's the one I use as a premise. So I find the article, I get some ideas in my head about how I'm going to try and get it out, but really it's all a spiritual thing, and the Most High presents, me with the articles that He wants to be brought out. Okay, so let's start off with this within the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay, and this is the this is the 16th verse. This is the 16th verse. Okay, so it says, curse shall I be in the city, curse shall I be in the field. So you have a system where, let's put this into modern day terms. So curse shall I be in the city. So you know what the city is. You're out there, you're at the job, okay, you're trying to get that money, you're trying to get that guap, okay. You're going to be cursed when you're doing that. Okay, it's just a simple fact of the matter. The system ain't going to work in your favor, man. They're either going to have it to where the job is, you just can't understand the job. And so you're going to have to do something that's more geared towards your spirit. Because the way Esau maneuvers through a system of business, it's just contrary against the scriptures. Okay, so if it's against the scriptures, if we're saying these are the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and the Israelite scats throughout the four corners of the earth, the people of whom the Most High has put a spirit likened unto Himself into, okay, then people ain't gonna jive with the system that's geared up against them. The very fundamentals of how that system works, how the workplace environment works, that's gonna be against your spirit, man. Okay, that's gonna be against your spirit. And when you go out into these different jobs, especially these office jobs, that's completely against your spirit, because you know you're supposed to be out there and damn near enjoying the earth, but you're still being fruitful. In other words, if you're farming, hey, you're enjoying the earth. You're out there. You hear the birds singing, which is the Most High song. Okay, if someone's gonna take that and make a video out of it, but you see, you feel the environment, you enjoy the world that the Most High has designed, and when you're out there within this office, man, it's just the most effeminate type of work environment that you could ever be in. So that's going to be against your spirit, man. Okay, so you're going to be cursed within that facet. And just that principle of in and of itself spirals out into all kind of different problems that you're going to have within this environment, man. You can't speak your mind because they're going to call you up into that HR office. Okay, so you're going to be cursed within that city. So and let's expand out. Okay, so you're going to be cursed within that seat. So you'll be the last one hired, the first one fired. Okay, you're going to have some extenuating circumstances before they pick you out for the job. Okay, and then when you get the job, you're going to work crazy hours. So it's like you're praying for the job. But when you get the job, you're like, God damn it, why am I in this environment, man? Okay, so you're just cursed left, right, and center, man. It says cursed shall I be in the field. Okay, so when you're getting out working, okay, you're gonna be you got your house niggas, okay, and you got your field niggas, okay. So the house nigga, which is out there within the sea, he's gonna be cursed there, and the field nigga is gonna be cursed out there within the field, okay, doing your so-called manual labor type of work, because that's looked down upon within the society. Of which that's really a more masculine way. That's gonna boost your testosterone. You're gonna go home happier because your whole vibration is better. You're gonna have more sun. Okay, and having more sun, you're gonna be healthier. So them people out there that doing the so-called manual labor jobs out there within the field, technically they live a happier, well, not technically, mathematically speaking, they live a happier life, man. Okay, because they're out there within the elements, they're dealing with the elements, man. Okay, but nevertheless, they were gonna be cursed within that facet. And we're going to go through some of those facets of which they're going to be cursed in. Okay, cursed out shall I be in a basket and that's all. Now, this is the point here that we're going to be dealing with too. Okay, this is the main premise that we're going to be dealing with. How that you're going to be cursed within your basket. So you're going to put some money within that basket. Okay, but it's going to be likened unto a man that's got a bag, okay, filled with holes. And the scripture for that is in the background, but I'll read it at the end. Okay, so it says, cursed shall I be in that basket and that store. So anything you try to save up, anything you try to put away, that's gonna be just cursed, man. To the end that you're gonna have no money. But see, I'll tell you something about having no money in your pocket. Even if you got the job and you distribute them funds to brothers or whatever. The best thing about that is this: when you have that money, your mind is completely destroyed, man. Okay, that's from personal experience. Okay, when you got that money within your pocket, you ain't thinking right, my man. You ain't thinking right. You think that money is gonna deliver you. Okay. You're thinking that having that guap within your pocket is going to have you some type of leverage with the Most High, but quite the contrary, because the scripture says what? Supposing that gain is godliness, man. Okay? And the scripture goes as far as saying within the book of Psalms 37th chapter, how that the poor was going to inherit the earth. Okay, so here it is, you got a system that's rigged against you. Okay, if you try and make it out there within the society, you're going to get jacked up. But even if you do make it some way up the ladder, okay, the Most High is coming for the poor. So you get your daily bread. That's it, man. That's it, man. Okay, you feel like Esau's trying to take advantage of you or try to get a better job, but hey, you gotta deal with it. You still gotta deal with some form of cursing. So you might get a better job now. Now the demon's gonna transfer it to your woman. Now she starts acting crazy, or your kids or your dog starts barking. It's hell. Okay, so with that in mind, we're gonna go through some of these ideas that I've tried to put together, dealing with the issue of a tangible ownership of goods. Okay, all right, barter systems, land, okay, sheep, oxen. All right, that's cattle for you modern day Neo-Babylonians. Okay, all right, that's wealth. Okay, and this article is gonna go into it somewhat. All right, but really, this is the premise that I'm gonna. Really, this is where I'm gonna try to expound on the ideas that I'm trying to push forth here. Okay, this is where really I'm gonna try to push, and you're gonna see that pretty much Esau's the one that has ownership of all of these things. Okay, to the end that people are buying houses out here within London and England and all over the world. Okay, and it's mostly Jake because they don't know how the system works. Okay, they're buying on a leasehold, of which, for all intents and purposes, that's just renting the house all right, but you're paying a mortgage, and after a certain amount of time, that land goes back onto the ownership, okay, of the family that sold it to you. Okay, so you have a leasehold of 40 years or 70 years, or etc., etc. But ultimately, you're renting that land. Okay, it's real deep. You're just, all you're doing is you're renting that house. You bought it on paper, but ultimately you're renting it. Okay, because after you bought it, that land of which your house is on, or the house you bought is on, is gonna go on to, or whatever you build up on that land is gonna go back onto the people that own that land. Okay, hence the reason why I'm dealing with this article here of the illusion of wealth. Okay, because you got people out there, they got the cars, they got the watches, they bought a house. Okay, but ultimately you don't own the land, and even if you own the land, you go to the book of 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, okay, dealing with the martial law and so on and so forth, and then you go into articles like Project Megiddo, Rex, and so on and so forth. What you're getting into finding out is that ultimately the government and the rulers of the government own that land, okay? And the rulers of the government is not your so-called politicians and all of that. The rulers of your government is who your government owes money to, and that's the elite banking families, man. They're the ones that owns that money. They're the ones that own the land of which you're living in. You're toiling for, man. You're working so hard to maintain. They're the ones that own it. Okay, going to show you that this is a system of which the devil is in rulership, because he'll give you the illusion that you're the one that's in control. You're the one who owns all of this, and ultimately he's the one that owns all of this. In fact, you go into the Federal Reserve System and the modern way, the modern mechanics of banking. Okay, you finding out that the money you're dealing with is actually invaluable, but rather more the people believing on the money, that's what gives it value. Ain't that crazy? Not that like a piece of gold that's just valuable. No, the people believing that the money is valuable is what gives it value. And that's the system that we're living in right now. Okay, so let's go into this a little bit. So it says, long ago, wealth was directly linked to physical resources, and people received compensation for their labor in food and material. Okay, I believe the word there is intrinsic value. Okay, but another synonym, if you will be tangible goods. Okay, land. This is your plot of land. That's your family. In fact, you go to the scriptures, you find out the inheritances of Jacob, okay, the 12 tribes of Israel that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth amidst all people, but predominantly you're going to recognize them as the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. You find out that they have an inheritance that is quite large. Okay, all right. If you go to let's see if I can pull this up. All right, the Promised Land. If I go to the Promised Land, okay. And I go to the images, you're gonna see that the land of the Most High has promised us. It's quite vast, okay. But see, that's the prize of the righteous, okay. That's the prize of the righteous, tangible goods, okay, tangible items that you can measure, you can quantify. That's what the Most High is gonna give to His people. Okay, not working for Esau and he gives you Federal Reserve notes or Bank of England notes. Okay, all right. To the end that you just gonna buy, just items to keep your mind off of the fact that you're in slavery, because that's what it's all about. Hence the illusion of slavery. Hence the illusion of freedom, the illusion of wealth. Okay, so I wanna pull this up right here. Okay, I sent this out to brothers before. I don't know if I've used this in a video before, but if you can see. All right, this is Israel right now, but this is the extent of which the Most High is giving us the inheritance. Okay, that's a nice chunk of land right there. Okay, and if you go into the different histories of these different empires, they all were within this region right here, man. Okay, they was all within this region because you got access to all directions. Okay, you got access to the most fertile land over here. We know the history of Egypt. We know the history of Israel and how pretty much it was very that land is very fruitful, man. That's the point I'm trying to say. It's a very fruitful land. Okay, so that's what the Most High has got out here for us. Let's go back onto this article right here. So this is back within the money and the illusion of wealth. Okay, so it says when the barter system was when money replaced barter. Okay, in other words, Federal Reserve, Federal Reserve notes, Bank of England notes, whatever central bank of what country you're in, whatever notes they're dealing with. When that replaced the barter system, especially when usury, when usury, charging interest to lend money, became moral and legal, right? The definition of wealth became blurry. I mean, that's a bad boy line right there. Okay, that should be the thing that you be thinking about every day when you're dealing within this society, when you're dealing within Esau's a world of wealth. You should be thinking that within your mind, the fact that the barter system has been replaced, but not only money and federal money and currency, okay, but it's actually been the whole usury system, right, has become moral and has become legal. Because when you go into how the Mosai set up the usury system and how you were supposed to let that person go after a certain period of time, you find that this society is completely wicked. But that's a law within our scriptures, man. That's a law within our scriptures. How that after a certain period of time, you got someone working for you, they should be able to go out there after 7 years and they should be good, man. Okay, here it is, you work for East for 25 years trying to pay off a leasehold, and then in 70 years or 1,000 years, that land goes back onto the family that owns it, the elite banking families. Hence the illusion of the wealth that you're trying to prescribe to. But even if you go into the scriptures, you find out you got the curses, so you're just better off just getting your daily bread. Okay, hey, you can get them nigger coon jobs, but goddamn it, getting your daily bread and keeping focus on the promise that the Most High is giving unto us, man. Because the promise that the Most High is giving unto us is vast. It's vast, man. This is the most fertile land in the whole world. And the Most High said, look, these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, can go through this hell. You can go catch hell underneath this king, catch hell underneath them people. But ultimately, I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna make them right. They're gonna be all right. Not for our name's sake, as the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, goes into, but for His holy name's sake. Lest a man should boast about his righteousness, which is what you're getting out there within the IUIC. Okay, here it is. They're having it to where people actually believe that they're righteous, and this is a similitude of righteousness, and the Most High is dealing with them because of the laws that they keep. The scriptures talk about how the Most High is pretty much going to have it to where He's going to have deliverance on us, and hence us receive this promised land, not things of no value, but actual quantifiable goods. Okay, quantifiable inheritances. Okay, right. For His holy name's sake. Now check that. So let's carry on with this article. It says, became moral and legal, the definition of wealth became blurry. It says, the abstract concept of money has allowed people to become rich by depleting natural resources, okay, mucking up land prices, manipulating financial data, selling disposable goods, disposable, deliberately rendering products obsolete. And that's a good thing. We did a video a while back about built-in obsolescence, and pretty much you have a system. Here it is, you're working, you buy a phone, a laptop, and that phone has been designed not to last forever, but it's been designed to become obsolete. And one of the things that they do to make it become obsolete is to have it to where you have persistent software updates, and those persistent software updates is only compatible to the newest model of phone or laptop or whatever it is you're buying. So it's just like, again, it's a system rigged against the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, because who really can afford to keep replacing these things like that? All right, pushing illegal drugs and exterminating species for body parts. Money doesn't discriminate between ethical and immoral activities, and many people don't care about the differences. The ones setting the price in most cases, the elite banking families. Okay, even in the legal economy, millions of workers are kept employed by money itself, not something physical and physically tangible, right? The virtual monetary system, or the virtual monetary economy may grow indefinitely on paper, but real physical economy can only support a finite level of consumption. Now let's pause right there. I'm not going to read all of this. I might go into this in a latter date, but really this sums all what I'm going to try to get into in the next one here. So if you have a ever expanding virtual economy, which is the system that you got right now. If you have an ever expanding virtual economy with an ever increasing debt ceiling, with an ever expanding debt budget and budget spending and etc. etc. You have it to where that grows, virtual markets, it goes forever and ever. The fact of the matter is, the goods that are upon the earth, the tangible physical economy, okay, cows, okay, oxen, a goat, okay, gold, silver, and then ultimately land, okay, those things have a finite level of consumption. And what you find out with that finite level of consumption of true wealth, that belongs onto the elite banking families. They're the ones that own that, okay? They're the ones that own the finite levels of consumption within this society. And this is going to be an example of that, okay? When I get into this article, you're finding out that these people out here that are working so hard for these so-called houses, they don't really own them, okay? And what's even greater about that, see, this article goes into only one aspect of it. It doesn't deal with the fact that when martial law is declared, all of the land goes back onto the elite banking families, the people that these people are paying mortgages off of, okay? It goes back onto them bankers, man. Okay, when martial law is declared, people are going to be put in concentration camps. Why are they going to be put in concentration camps? Because all of that exists out here now belongs onto the elite banking families. And they're going to declare it in that time. Now, here it is. They're playing the background role. They're having to set up a central bank. And, you borrow your money from your national bank. The national bank borrows money from the central bank. And they own it indirectly. But ultimately, when that martial law is declared by way of World War III, by way of famines, by way of diseases, plagues, etc., etc., these banksters, okay, these so-called Jews that run the world right now, they're gonna say, look, we're your kings, we're the one that rule this world, man. Okay, and that's why the scripture says that he enlarges his desires as well, because the finite level of consumptions not only belongs unto maybe 1% of the world, even less than that, because them so-called Jews don't breed like that. So here it is, the whole vast resources of the world, which can support billions and billions and billions of billions of people, right, is only in the hands of a very, 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 very small amount of people, because they know that this is a finite level of consumption. Let these people think that they're ever expanding in terms of the money they get, although the money they're getting, it decreases in value, but a person is happy because they're making $150,000 a year. Okay, but all the man needed to make was $150,000 over his lifespan 25 years ago, and he was more than good. All right, let that sink into your membrane. Okay, so let's go into this article now. Hopefully, the point's been made, and I've drove it home right there. So it says here, leasehold now number one concern for UK homeowners. Okay, study finds. Money grabbing schemes. And why is it a money grabbing scheme? Because once they own you, once they own your ass, man, they own your ass. And that's the end all goal. Here it is, people gonna be trying to, that's one of the, coming to think about it, that's gonna be one of the main driving forces behind that chip. Okay, to keep your house, you're gonna have to get this chip so we can transfer the accounts onto this, man, so we can track your payments through this system. That's gonna be that probably is gonna be a major thing. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying I got the information to say here it is and here it is. But if people are struggling to pay their so-called mortgages these days because this economy is fucked, okay, and you got Ponzi schemes and all kinds of schemes to where people is getting all types of jacked up. Well, it makes sense that to maintain that housing that they got right now, they're gonna have to have it to where they're gonna have that chip, man. Okay. To maintain the lifestyle they've got right now, when everything goes tits up, they're gonna happily go for that chip, and it's gonna be mainly them women that are gonna line up for that because they like that certain level of comfort, man. Okay, so it says money grabbing schemes trap new buyers with spiraling ground rents, and I like that. I like this statement. I like this statement where it says ground rents, because when you're talking about rent, you don't think home ownership. You're not thinking home ownership. But ultimately, if you don't own the land your house is built on, you don't own shit, man. You don't own shit. Okay, so you gotta pay the rent on the ground that your house lives on. Okay, so it says leasehold has become the number one concern for homeowners in the UK, according to new studies. right after it emerged that many new home buyers have been trapped by the spiraling ground rents. And it makes sense if the elite banking families want to push the people out, squeeze them, okay, so they become completely dependent on the government and state to try to fix their problems. Well, when that chip is presented, that's gonna be the solution, and people gonna be taking gonna be taking it, man. They're gonna be running. They're gonna be lining up for that. Okay, so this annual survey of property owners, right, by the Homeowners Alliance, found that 50% of the UK's adults see the current leasehold system, including service charges and ground rent, as a very serious problem, up from 42% last year. Okay. So Paula Higgins, the chief executive of Homeowner Alliance, said unscrupulous players within the industry have turned what has been a form of tenure for centuries, right, into a money-grabbing scheme, of which that's not how we dealt within the ancient world. Okay, now we had the system where you rented a piece of land for a certain amount of time. Okay, but we ain't trying to rip you. We ain't trying to make you believe that you own something that you don't own. You know that this is ours. Okay, right? If Gideon has been given 30,000 square feet of land, okay, that's gonna belong unto Gideon's family for perpetuity if the Most High is giving it unto him. Okay, but see, what you're gonna have it to where is you might have it to where Gideon's gonna allow that. Is gonna allow another brother to farm upon that land for a certain period of time. It's up to him, but he's not gonna feel that he owns that. You ain't gonna have to pay a mortgage and then the rent fee and whatever. You got all types of fees upon all types of fees, because these people actually believe that they're in a system. They actually paying off a system to where they can exist. Okay, they actually think that they're paying off something that they're gonna own for a certain period of time, man. But then you ain't. Okay, so let's go into what is this. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have to go into too much of that. Let's define the difference between the freehold and the leasehold. Okay, and they're gonna mention certain terms in here that should spark a certain thinking within your mind. So it says leasehold versus freehold. What is the difference? It may seem like a technical legal language, but there are a few things more important about your home than whether a freehold or leasehold. Okay, it makes the difference between owning your home outright and having a landlord, and that's the thing I was talking about right here. Landlord. Okay, who's the lord of this land? Esau, man. He's the lord of this land. Okay, he's the lord of the flies, but the Most High has had it to where he's the lord of the land right now. To the end of Scripture says that what that has he seen a curse, has he seen a nightmare, to roughly paraphrase it, right? Because he had seen servants upon horses. You go into the book of Job, the 30th chapter, it says that how these bums, these Edomite bums, were turned into lords. Now you go to where they're the ones that own the land. That you wanna do whatever you wanna do. When we already know Esau owns the world, but for these peons out here that they think that they're getting a chip of the so-called American dream, they're getting a chip of the so-called a Western idea, a chip or a section, a part, their cut of Babylon, they ain't getting shit, man. And even if you do own the freehold, when that martial law comes through, man, you're gonna find out you didn't own nothing in the goddamn first place. Okay, so it says there, and having a landlord, okay, a lord of your land, okay. And it says what are the differences? Fundamentally, there are two fundamentally different forms of legal ownership: freehold and leasehold. Although estate agents tend to gloss over it, and there's that illusion, okay. Between the differences can be the difference between a home that is worth buying and that isn't. Many people who don't sort this out when they buy a home end up regretting it, right, and get into and the cost can be hugely expensive. Okay, so if we go to this, we scroll down to this. It says a leasehold means that you lease from the freeholder, okay, sometimes called a landlord, to use the home for a number of years. So you pay a mortgage to rent, in other words, so you can understand. To put it into layman's terms, you pay a mortgage to rent. Okay, so if your mortgage is 50 years and you lease for 40 years, hey, you're fucked. I mean, I don't think they actually do that, but just to theorize, you know. So it says here, choose the home for a number of years. It says the leases are usually long term, 90 years, 120 years, and as high as 1,000 years. And why does it say 1,000-year lease? The person's dead, okay, 900 years ago. Why does it say 1,000 years? Okay, because these elite banking families, they deal with a thing of reincarnation. Okay, so they know that the breaches that they have acquired, they're going to allow you to lease it for a certain amount of time. But the time they come back, their thinking is that we're going to own this land again. Okay, well, which ultimately that's the right mentality of thinking, because you want to have it to where that land is in your family's possession. That's the kind of right way of thinking. But the wickedness about it is the glossing over it. Okay, the thing of making you believe that you own something you don't own is completely wicked. Okay, right? The thing of making you pay a mortgage on that instead of just renting it is completely wicked, man. Okay, so pretty much, hopefully, I think the point was hit. Hopefully that was edifying. I got one more scripture to hit. All right, this is in the book of Haggai, the 1st chapter. I believe it's in the 6th verse. It says, "You sow much and bring in little. Okay, you eat, but you have not enough. Right, you drink, but you are not filled. Okay, with drink. So you're in a perpetual state of consumption. All right, because you have been given the illusion of wealth. We find out within the world of true economics that there is a finite level of consumption. So you're in a perpetual state of consumption, then you're in a state of delusion. Because you've been led to believe that you can continue on in the state that you're going on, right? Believing something is new when it's not you. Believing something you own something when you don't. Okay? Because the masters, the rulers that be, would have it so. All right? Because they deal with a thing of deception. All right? It says, "He clothed you, but ye are not warm." Right? He that earneth wages, right? Wages to put into a bag with holes, and that's the thing we've been dealing with. Now, really, ultimately, most Jakes ain't even gonna be on that type of level. But even for these, average Edomites out here, they're jacked up too, man. And that's all because the Most High has set up this whole kingdom to be a grievance unto the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. Okay, so hopefully that was edifying. Hopefully, some pertinent points and some inspirational points for you, bro, to go out there and do some videos on it. Was brought out. And I'm gonna say all praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Double honors the apostles of great millstone. Unless your brothers will be pushing the truth and sincerity. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom.